Cheers. All right. All right, here we go.
That's right. Relationships easy to get into, hard to maintain. Why are they so hard to maintain? Because at some point you just stop talking. That's right. Everybody stop talking after a while. You know how you just come home and just start nodding. Yeah, we cool, yeah. Yeah, I'm gonna get this up, yeah, we cool. Why do you stop talking? Because at some point you have heard everything this person has to say, and it makes you sick to your stomach.
I mean,
you know what they gonna say before it even comes out their mouth, and you just wanna stab them in the neck with a pencil. You can't take.
I mean,
is that checked out central right there?
I don't know if it's checked out central, but I would say that it could be that we heard everything and, they're just like, we're back to this again.
Fed up with the bullshit. Come on.
All right, guys. Welcome to the Men Don't Know podcast. I am the man of many friends, Chris Boone. And here on the podcast, we talk with a married guy, a single guy, and a guy in a relationship. And we ask a bunch of women questions that men want to answer to over wine and cocktails. And today,
what is it?
We talking about your job and the effects it has on your relationships. I mean, first of all, I want to thank all the listeners and subscribers and everybody that follows me on Instagram at Men Don't Know, Twitter at Men Don't Know, one on YouTube at Men Don't Know. I appreciate you guys. I appreciate you guys reaching out and telling everybody else, and I thank you, and the applause is for you guys. I thank everybody that hit me up asking for merch that I sent out to, and still for the month of November, if you DM me through Instagram, I will send you some free merch.
Do it.
Right? But Coy, how we doing, man?
Good. How we doing?
Man, pretty well, man. I'm pretty good, man. And it was funny, I was talking to a bunch of my friends, and the discussion got on your job and the effects it has on your relationship, whether you're married or in a relationship and you're just dating or you have a girlfriend. Let me ask you this, Coy. I mean, I know you're a single guy, but from what you've seen of your married and guys that are in a relationship, do you think their job solely affects their relationship?
One way or another.
Why?
It just depends what they do. What if, like, we've had guests here say they can pick up and leave for 6 months anytime, right?
Oh,
or
yeah.
Is she willing to be in a relationship with a guy that has to leave and travel like that?
Yeah.
Vice versa, too.
No, I hear you. What do you, let me ask you this then. I guess.
But there's also jobs that, like if a guy's going out with a girl and she's a stripper, how does he feel about it?
Oh, I didn't think about that.
If a guy has a job like in the nightlife industry, he's being nice to girls, right? How's she going to take it?
I mean, yeah.
Late nights coming home too.
Coy, are you trying to set up a podcast in Las Vegas? Coy?
I think that's it right there.
Coy, is that what you try to do?
It's been a while.
Oh, man. I guess you're thinking what I'm thinking. Man, well, I guess we're gonna have to do that. But yeah, I'm gonna call one of my friends, and she has an interesting
Does her
situation.
job affect or his job affect her?
I think his job affects because she is a stay-at-home mom, and he travels. So I mean, this is gonna be this is gonna be a super end of a spectrum that I'm really curious and interested to find out about. Let's see if she picks up. Damn, right? Pick up.
Hello.
Hey.
Hey.
Kristen, how we doing?
Good. How are you?
Man, I'm doing amazing. I mean, long time no hear. I mean, we text a lot, but I mean, I'm glad I get to, finally hear that you're finally back here, and I'm glad the man is here too. So tell him that we have to have a guys' night out. Please
Absolutely.
Tell him let's figure out something this week, though. I haven't seen him like forever.
He'd love that. That'd be great.
Yeah, no, seriously. Tell them beers on me too. Beers are on me. Okay, but first of all, you are on the Men Don't Know podcast. You are being recorded, and you are here, and my boy Coy is here. Coy, say what's up.
Hey, Kristen.
Hi, how are you?
Good.
So right now we're talking about relationship and how the job affects the relationship.
Okay.
And you having an interesting situation, I feel like you would be able to speak on a certain demographic and a certain, part of job and relationship style since you guys are married. So tell the audience and listeners your situation, which is not different, but it's unique, I feel.
Jacob runs a tech company, and I am a stay-at-home mother of soon-to-be 2.
Oh, congratulations.
Thank you.
Yeah.
And he's gone quite often. He has to travel for work. So when we first got married, we kind of had an agreement that he'd only be gone for 2 nights in a row at the most. And of course, it never works the way you plan, right?
Does anything though? Does anything actually?
No.
Everything looks good on paper. It does.
Yeah. That did not go the way it's planned. So I think the longest stretch he's been gone is six nights, and I'm at home with our daughter. And
right.
So I have to give him credit because he's really good about doing FaceTime every single morning to say hi to her.
Oh my gosh.
He FaceTimes at bedtime.
Oh wow.
So he tries to insert himself in her life as much as possible. So kudos to him.
Dang, you know what? I didn't think about that.
Yeah.
I really
Technology is kind of, it helps, right? Because she needs to see his face.
Yeah, no. 100%. Damn, that is good of him.
Six nights, there better be at least 3 FaceTimes a day.
No, I mean, but
that's a long stretch.
I mean, but if you think about it, he made sure she saw him today, and
absolutely.
That's wow. I guess that is one of the things that couples dealing with their partner going out of town for business and work. I guess FaceTime is key.
It's so helpful. It's particularly when there are kids involved. As an adult, I really don't care as long as we're texting or we're on the phone, whatever. But for a child, she really wants to see her daddy's face and have his attention for a minute.
Right.
And I just think that makes such a big difference. And he's really good about doing that. And, we send him daddy clips for all the little fun things she's doing while he's gone.
Right.
It's really cute.
I'm pretty sure that makes a hell of a difference because, the reason why I feel like the reason why he's working so hard and men in general are working so hard is to provide for their family, for them to have the lives that, they want them to have.
Well, so that's a big deal. I think what makes our dynamic work is before we decided to have kids, I was a hard charging businesswoman and I got it and I get it. It's hard on him. So being married, you're part of a team and there's none of this, oh, well, what's in it for me? Or I'm not getting enough.
Sorry. You hit the nail on the head, part of a team.
Yeah. Well, he's working and he's working for us and I get that. So instead of complaining about the time away, we just try to make it work. And, he's a man, so his job is to hunt and provide. And that's what he's trying to do.
Stop this. Man, I'm not going to lie to you. This show has missed a woman like you. I am not going to lie to you. Oh my gosh. Hunt and provide, team. Like you are saying, seriously, I feel like I'm so glad I had you on for this topic 100% because of the fact that I think, nowadays, even when the roles are reversed and say the husband isn't in that position of, I wouldn't say power, but his job doesn't take him away from the family, but her job does. I think we forget that, they are doing these things because they want the life. They want, them to have the life that they've always wanted down the road.
Absolutely. I couldn't agree more. Well, either or, right? Man, woman, or both.
Both,
right?
Yeah.
Everybody's on the team, and you just have to make sacrifices and compromises for the common goal.
Right.
And that goes a long way.
Now, let me ask you this: would you attest, like you working in like a hard-driven business industry, to why you're so compromising and why you're so understanding? Is my biggest question.
To be honest, first I loved my career and I got so much out of it. So there's that aspect of getting it just one-on-one. But I worked in a male-dominated industry, and my mentor in particular was the founder of a bank, and I always sat back and listened to what his frustrations were, what he was dealing with at home, and him not feeling appreciated or understood for his sacrifices at work. There was a lot of, I guess you could say, nitpicking on him about not being around enough. And I just took everything he said to heart. So I want my marriage to be successful. And having had that mentor that was a man and listening to what he was going through, I didn't want my husband to go through that. So, I just
you kind of
have
gave you
to
advice,
understand.
not on purpose. Gave you advice.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. And so I don't know. I mean, I think everybody has to kind of sit back and think about, why are you in this marriage and do you want it to work? And beating up on your partner, it's not gonna make it work.
Damn.
So
now let me ask you this. What do you think that you do helps him keep striving and pushing to be more great and more, better, so that way he can come home faster? What do you think that you do?
Well, one, I keep our house in order, and when he's home, there's 3 meals a day on the table for him, and besides that, when he's gone,
damn it. I mean, I'm sorry. I'm sorry. My bad. My finger slipped. But yeah, go ahead. I'm sorry. Three meals a day on the table. Go ahead.
Yeah. When he's gone, the dialogue is positive, and it's a lot of "I miss you," and the video clips that we do with our daughter is Daddy's working for you right now, but why don't you tell him you love him? And everything's very positive reinforcement and letting them know that we're at home and we miss him and we can't wait for him to come back.
Damn.
I think, it's the same thing when you're raising your children. You want to give positive reinforcement and not negativity. And the same thing goes for your partner. And the last thing they want is nitpicking or to hear something negative. You keep a positive household and your husband's going to come home.
Damn,
be happy to be home.
He's not gonna pull up into the driveway.
count some vodka before he comes in.
Sailing around the corner in his car to get to Bird home, right?
He's sitting there.
Still second thoughts.
Oh man,
it's not too late.
Oh man, I'm not gonna lie to you. Me and Coy were doing a happy hour. And we were just hanging out, and we noticed, guy comes in at the bar, and Coy always brings this story up. And apparently he was supposed to go to the market after work for the family and whatnot, and he stopped in for a beer.
Oh boy! Oh boy!
5 beers later,
literally.
Oh no!
He stayed for like 5 beers and started chatting it up, and he looked at his watch. He was like, Yeah, I'm getting. Yeah, I guess.
Oh man!
And I was like,
it comes down to.
Yeah, is that what it comes? Like, I looked at him and I was like, damn, this guy doesn't want to go home.
And it looked like he was having a grand old time at the bar too.
Yeah.
That's just sad.
Yeah,
if that's the example of marriage, people are not going to want to get married. I mean, no thanks.
I mean,
right?
Like,
I'd rather stay single.
Yeah, it looked like he said he just popped in for a quick beer. because traffic wasn't bad, and he was, he had, time that he wanted to kill before he headed to the grocery store to head home. And it was like, we watched him. It was like one beer. And me and Julie are like, damn, that went down kind of fast. And then
one football quarter,
two beer, 3 beer. And I was like, buddy, you said you had to go. Like, I mean,
he's going to spill into the door.
Man.
I got the milk.
I got the milk. Oh, man. And so that's why, and it was kind of my idea to ask these questions to a couple of my female friends that are married and that are in relationships, because like, I always wonder, like, when the marriage is successful, like, how is it successful? Like, what can women do to keep, not necessarily their husband at the bar slamming beers before he has to make his way home to his family, but like for him to go home.
I honestly, I sit back and I wonder that too. We see all types of couples, and you see the ones that are just miserable, and you kind of scratch your head and go, well, why are you doing this, right? Why are you going to be in a marriage that's a miserable marriage, and it's by choice, right?
Yeah.
And I don't know. I mean, I waited to get married. I was 33, and I had lived on my own, and I know. Like, I don't want somebody causing drama in my life. I refuse to do that. I would rather be single. Mm-hmm. The last thing I'm going to do is hop into a marriage and then start being that person that I hated when I was single. I'm just not going to do it. And you know what? There's something called divorce. He doesn't have to stick around. So if I'm just going to treat him like garbage, how can I expect that this guy's going to stick around? He's just not. And vice versa. I mean, the same goes for me. If he was treating me bad, I'd be out the door in a split second.
Even having the kid wouldn't matter to you? And you don't think that applies to other people too? That say they're quote unquote stuck?
Yeah, they're stuck because of the kid.
That's the weird thing, right? I mean, when you hear these women, I have a child, and well, are you really doing right by your kid, keeping them in a negative household where you and daddy are miserable? I mean, I could just go back out and get a job and whatever. And she would see a happy mom versus a miserable mom. And I think the most important thing is that a child mirrors their parents. And the most important thing that she needs to see are happy, loving, joyful parents. I don't want my child growing up miserable because that's all she saw in her household, So I don't believe the whole, I'm trapped and I have to stay because I have a child. That's
always
ridiculous. A way. Well, and when people say they stay for the kids, they're not doing the kids a favor. Children are not stupid.
Yep.
They see mommy and daddy miserable, and then they'll mirror what they saw. Or at least this is my perspective. I could be wrong. I mean,
no. I think, like, I think for them, for in my case and in your case, I think you're, spot on where, you're not doing any justice, But let me ask you this. I know it's not always glitz and glamour and, and rainbows and sunshines and money falling from the ceiling. What is the pettiest thing y'all argue about?
Oh my gosh. Okay, that's fun. So
that's fun. I don't know.
That's fun. I think on a regular basis, I am on my husband constantly about the trash not being taken out before it's like overflowing. And
I'm not even going to lie to you. And let me stop you right there. And just to give you a heads up, I don't know what it is about this fucking trash. 99% of all guys in marriage and in relationships do not take out the trash. We've had this discussion.
Yes.
I don't know.
Because you know what it is? So I'm cooking and I'm throwing stuff in there all the time. Yeah. And he just doesn't have to see that the trash is overflowing because he's not throwing anything away. And I'm like, have you not seen this? And he's looking at me like, well, it wasn't like that 20 minutes ago.
Yeah. I mean,
anyways, is dinner ready?
Oh my goodness.
I mean, I'm not going to lie to you. Like, at least he's not running out in the morning half naked trying to wave down the trash man to come back and pick up his trash.
Oh goodness, can you imagine if he had missed it?
Ooh. Oh no. There's quite a few married women that were on the show letting us know that their half naked husband would run out at 7 a.m. wheeling out the trash can so the trash man doesn't miss it.
Oh, funny. That's funny. Yeah, that's a common thing. So I put a video clip on Facebook about this with some comedian just roasting his marriage and that they almost divorced over the trash can. And I'm like, that hit home for me. I'm like, that's so funny. That is like a constant daily battle.
To me, that is crazy. That is wild. I don't even get that. Okay. And now let me ask you this. What is something that you could do better in the relationship? Now, I'm not saying you're not doing everything right, but I'm saying there's probably something, you know what, I could do a little bit better of a job of this.
Yeah. I think, you know me, I'm a bit of a hothead. So
I didn't say it. I need the record to say I did not say it.
Anyone who actually knows me knows I'm a hothead.
Oh, man. Hey.
And he knew this long before we got married. He still decided to hang up. So I think and I do actually, I try to work on this every day, but it's a work in progress. I am a work in progress. I gotta watch my temper.
We all are. We all are. We all are. But you know what? At least you recognize it and know, like, okay, look, I probably went too far. Now, let me ask you this. Do you apologize?
All the time. And particularly right now because I'm pregnant. So, imagine being a natural hothead. Then you have a toddler riding you all day long and you're pregnant. And I'm pregnant with a boy. This is a very different pregnancy. Like there's testosterone pumping through my veins.
Oh, wow.
So I've kind of flown off the handle a few times. And as soon as I'm calm and like the crazy went away, I'll come out and say like, okay, I'm so sorry. Like, I don't know what that was about. I think it's your son talking to you.
It's your son. It's not me. Okay. So let's just get one thing straight. Oh my gosh. He is probably one of the most understanding. Go ahead.
Sorries are such a big deal in marriage. If you can't say sorry, you might as well just not get married because it's not going to work. So I'm quick to say sorry.
That's good. No, I mean, I feel like that's one of the things. Like, and let me ask you this: are you the financial guru in the marriage where you are controlling and making sure everything gets done, paid, and yada
totally.
yada yada?
Well, yes, but so the only reason that's the case is because that's my career has been finance.
Gotcha.
And his career is in tech, and so it just naturally made more sense that I took over our finances, and he focused on making money, and I focused on managing money.
Right.
But if I thought that he would do a better job than me, I'd be happy to hand that over.
Right.
I just don't. He's too busy.
Yeah. Not that even he's probably like, no. Yeah. I'm not trying to deal with none of that. Nah, that is all you. Here's the Excel spreadsheet. Go ahead and.
Right. He's so happy. He's like, here's the credit cards, here's bank accounts, and I'm just going to go over here.
Yeah, exactly.
I just make sure the money comes in. I don't know what happens.
Exactly.
Right. And he's expecting to be able to pull cash out of the ATM. If it doesn't work, he'll just let me know.
Right. Went to the ATM this morning, and you're like, 1 second. 1 second. He's like, honey, funny thing today. Was at Starbucks and went to swipe the card.
Oh, it wouldn't be delivered like that. It would be like, what is going on with you and our finances?
Oh, I try to make it nice. I was like, so this thing happened. Okay, so let me ask you this: if he were to say one thing that he appreciates most about you, what would it be?
Oh gosh. Well, I hear him say to his mother quite often that I'm a great mom, and I think it does give him some comfort while he's out, away for 6 days that he doesn't have to worry about our daughter not being properly cared for. So,
Damn.
I mean, I think that would be what he would say. Or at least, I eavesdrop, and that's what I heard.
That's what I like to hear. Okay, and okay, if you were to give any one woman advice being married and headed through some rough patches, and what one thing you would give advice to the woman and one advice you would give to the man?
Oh, well, you know what? It would be the same across the board. And that's, I think it's, you can't change the way your partner's behaving. The only thing you can do is change the way that you're behaving, and hopefully that would change their response. Mm-hmm. So, you know, if you're in the middle of a fight, you're not going to change the way that person's acting. The only way you're going to change the outcome of the fight is to change your approach. And that's I just kind of keep that in mind, you know, when we hit rough patches, because we do. I mean, everybody does.
Yeah. This is a marathon.
Yeah. And there's no, you know, blame game thing that's gonna make it better. So I just have to constantly keep that in mind. And I try to adjust my behavior to kind of control the outcome. Honestly, that's it. So, for instance, if I want him to take me on a date, I just come out and I show him some pictures of some dates we went on, and I was like, "Do you remember when we had this great time? And I wish we could do that again." And I kid you not, I get the date that I asked for every single time.
Damn.
Every single time.
So you like 10 for 10. You batting 1,000.
Well, yeah. So, and then I apply that to everything else. You know, if I want a new pair of shoes, oh, babe, you know, look at these things you bought me before.
Hey.
And I get what I wanted.
Hey,
so
you know, I'm not gonna lie to you. We're forgetful. Like seriously. Like, I mean, I'm not making an excuse for a man, but you know, sometimes we got a lot going on, work, the pressures of work, and this, that, and the third. You know, it's not that we forget about you. We just know that, you know, it's kind of like the Bonnie and Clyde thing. Like, I know you got my back, and I'm sorry. And sometimes I just need a little reminder, like, hey, and I'm like, oh, you know, let me go do this for her.
Yeah, or let's just be honest, he gets tired, and maybe he doesn't feel like going out of his way to do something special because he's burnt out. So, you know, a little nudge in the right direction, it's helpful.
Okay, and another last question. I'm sorry. What is what's one thing you hate about his job, one thing you love about his job?
Well, okay, so I've never seen my husband more stressed out ever in the 4 years we've been together until now running the company. So I think that there's a lot of stress and pressure that comes with that. So I hate it. I hate seeing him stressed out because, you know, who wants that? But with the stress has come a lot of accomplishments, and he's challenged himself in ways that he's never done before. And I'm seeing a lot of confidence that I hadn't seen before. And I think that that's just part of life. And you want to see your partner grow into their full potential. And so it's fun watching that happen.
That's
you know?
what I like to hear.
Yeah.
All right. That's
he's growing after the child too.
Yeah.
So that's even better.
Yeah. And that's, you know, and damn, man, my God. I'm seriously coming over. I'm seriously coming over this week to get him out the house.
Okay.
Is he here? Is he in town this week?
He is going to be in town this week. This is actually a good week to come down because he's kind of cleared his schedule and given himself a little bit of a break. So right. I'd love to see you, and I know Jacob would too. He needs some guide time.
All right. Hey, what is he doing tomorrow? Fuck it. What is he doing tomorrow? Hit him up. Is he next to you right now?
No, I didn't want to. He's watching football.
Oh, okay, yeah. Game's on right now. Yeah, Cowboy game's on right now. But hey, find out if he's free tomorrow, and we're and text me because I know you guys. Okay. Yeah, I don't want to say it over the air, but yeah, text me and then I'll head down that way.
Okay,
and come get him.
I'm
And
looking
then,
forward to it.
yeah. No, I'm gonna get a couple guys together and take them out so we can have like an actual guys' day out and have a couple beers.
Oh, good.
He doesn't have to drive. Let's let him get a little tipsy and have a day out.
Spill into the house.
Yeah, I mean, you probably never get to see. I mean, you probably never see it, but this is probably, like you said, he's been working so hard. Like, let me take him out.
Yeah, I love this, Chris. That's great.
All right, perfect.
I'll tell him.
Yeah, perfect.
Okay,
perfect. And then
you guys
text me.
have a good night, you guys.
You
Good
too.
night.
Thank you again.
Okay, bye.
Bye. Damn, man.
That is a good partnership right there.
Bruh, I mean, I think honestly, I think it's the FaceTime that helps with everything.
There's single guys listening, just like, oh, I can't FaceTime. I can't do that.
Oh, bro, don't
FaceTime.
No,
I don't have Wi-Fi right now.
I don't have. Coy, come on, man.
The guys,
we're talking about the job and the relationship.
She shows pictures of the dates and he gets a hint. There's guys out there still like look at the picture like, woo, I miss those days, honey. I wish we could still do that, but no.
The job doesn't even let me have my phone on me at all. But honey, you work in sales.
Anyways, I'll see you in 6 days.
Oh my gosh, I'm in the air most of the time. Damn.
Oh, wow. Don't give these guys excuses.
Man. You need to stop that, Coy. It's not funny, man. Like, quit coming up with top 10.
No, I don't have unlimited data. Come on now.
Oh my gosh. Meanwhile, guys in the back like, nah, another round.
Yeah.
Another round.
I'll take a picture.
Honey,
I'll take a picture though and send it to
Yeah, he's like, we're right
from memories.
Send photo. Gotta go.
I got static in the back.
Oh my gosh.
Guys.
Oh man. All right, bro. I really want to call in Albert, but I don't know what he's up to. And I don't even know if he's gonna pick up either.
Too late or no?
Yeah, it's kind of late over there, but let's see. Me, I'm a shoot in the dark all the time. Let's see what's up. Do 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 do. Yeah, I think he. Wait. Damn, I think I called the right number. I've never heard his phone ring that many times. Oh well, happens. All right. Let's go. Oh, you know who has a crazy job story? And the fact that she works nights, he works days too. So
That's
I mean,
crazy.
Yeah, I mean,
Think about the sleep pattern, how cranky you are.
Not even that. The times you get to see each other.
Yeah.
Oh, let's see if she picks up. I don't even know what she's doing. Pretty sure she's on her way to work or something.
Hello.
Jessica, what are you up to? Oh, snap. You walking out the house?
I'm still here for like another 5 minutes or so.
Okay, that's good. What are you up to?
Just have to head to work.
No, I know. Oh, well, anyways, you're on the Men Don't Know podcast. You're being recorded, so you know the drill. And we're here with my boy Coy. Coy, say what's up.
Hey, Jess.
Oh, hi, Coy.
Some popcorn. Eating popcorn right
Oh man. Anyways, so Jessica, the reason why I called you is because you have an interesting family marriage
dynamic.
Dynamic.
Coy is cool. Coy is smooth with the wordplay today.
That's why I like Coy.
Coy's been reading a couple dictionaries, but anyways.
Wow, you're a hater.
Jealous ones will envy. But anyways, okay, so we are talking about work life and the effects it has on your relationship and marriage. And since you and your husband are, 14 in, 10 in? What is it?
14 in.
Jesus Christ. I mean, my bad.
I feel bad for anybody who has to do me that long.
Yeah, right. Probably feel like prison sentence, my boy. But I play it. No, so I know he's the morning worker, you are the night worker, and I know with the kids and everything, my question is, how do y'all do it?
It's about finding balance. And there are times where the smallest thing changes, and it's like, throwing a screw into an engine, everything gets kind of messed up. But
a screw into an engine. No. A screw into an engine means we need a new widget. wrench. Yeah, wrench into
Whatever. You know what I meant? Okay, then.
Hello?
I'm here.
Okay, no. So so how do you guys do it? Like, I mean, like how? Like a
lot of coordinating.
It's a lot of what?
Coordinating.
I mean, with coordinating, and I mean, is he easygoing? Is that why? Like, because I don't know how much coordinating, like,
Well, yeah, he's like a very easygoing person in general, and I think it just kind of works because
God got you. That's why.
Well, I'm so OCD when it comes to pre-planning, which you obviously know that with my pre-planning type of situation. But it works out because he's so patient and laid back in regards to like, okay, well, what needs to get done? Or what do you want me to do type of thing, where I'm just like, okay, this needs to be done. You need to do this. And then we need to figure this out to whoever it's going to work out best for to handle it or whatever. But it's constant work. I mean, we do get into a groove as long as nothing pops up, like we're good. But sometimes, if I have an appointment or if I have something going on and then like the kids are out of school, then it's like small panic for a second. And then we have to kind of like rearrange things and then we're fine. But I mean, there was a time where he was working 2 different things, and I think the most jobs I've had at one point was 3.
Jesus
and
Christ. Hold on.
It was just crazy.
Hold on real quick. I missed that. How many jobs was that?
3.
I mean, it's I can't say I hear that often. So please continue. Sorry.
So it's just taken a lot of work, and then we're lucky enough to have really supportive family and friends.
Uh-huh.
So I have some friends, if I need something done or if I need a sitter or something like that, they're good to go. And my oldest is getting old enough to where she can babysit, so that's always positive. And then
I don't know if I trust her
before. Even before I felt like 1,000% comfortable with that. As much as we talk about, electronics and social media and all that stuff, and how that's kind of has its negatives, it also has its positives because they've come out with so many different types of home cameras. I have cameras throughout my entire house. So,
damn, ain't nobody making a move.
I'm not here. Nope. Even if I'm not here, I can always log into my daughter's room to see what she's doing.
Damn. So, what if the camera's off?
Nope. The camera is off. The hell?
You have to put a picture in front of it, like Ocean's 11.
Nope. It's video, coy.
That's the boyfriend. Like, hey, you just take a picture, screenshot this, and put it in front of the camera. Your parents won't know.
Video with sound and motion.
Oh, motion, damn.
And I have the same thing with the outside. We have cameras on the outside, and then, I have double gates around my house. I have dogs. Like, I pity anybody who ever tries to break into my house.
So let me ask you this. What's one of your biggest gripes about your husband and his job?
I would say there's not really anything crazy. I think the worst part about his job is when he has oil on him, because it's sticks. You have to wash all his work clothes separately. I can smell it instantly. But he works on engines, so that's about it. I mean, he says that's what money smells like. I can't even with him. But that's about it. I mean, luckily his job, his hours are great. He gets most holidays off. He goes in at about 6 a.m. He gets out at 2. So even if I have something going on, my kids don't get out till 2:30. So there's always time for him to be able to pick them up. I would say, I think like my biggest complaint is when he doesn't get overtime. Damn it. They're not giving you overtime today?
Damn.
Go back.
Which
Get back
I
to
think,
it.
Damn, leave.
I mean, because I understand it. I have a lot of guy friends and people that I'm friends with at my bar that I meet through my bar. And, you know, I don't understand when men tell me, like, they're having problems in their relationship because they're like, oh, she gets mad, I work too much. Like, what? I'm sorry, but you like that Louis you're wearing, right? Okay, shut up. Like, that's how I feel. Like, you're working.
Yeah, but they say they need attention.
But still, you cannot have your cake and eat it too. I'm talking about these are women who, and that's the other thing, like, they stay home. They don't even have to work. They don't do much, and then they have these husbands, especially because I live in work in Orange County.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I run into that a lot where they're completely kept, but then they complain that the husband's not around. So it's kind of like, well, pick your struggle. Why don't you go get a part-time job so your husband doesn't have to work extra amount of hours, and then you guys can hang out a little bit.
Get these nails dirty? You tripping.
You can't have it both ways. I mean, when we're off, we try to hang out with each other as much as possible, and sometimes we have other things going on, and, you know, I hang out with my friends, or he hangs out with you for some sick reason, and
because he knows where the party's at. You know what it is, right, Corey? He knows what we're about to do. Let me ask you this: is your biggest and I feel like it's most women and wives and girlfriends, they're not worried about, you know, if women are hitting on them or not. They're worried about, like, one of us hurting each other, like one of us, like.
Yes, well, I told you the last time you went to dinner, and I was like threatening your life because I knew he was going to drink. I'm like, he better not drink and drive, and nothing better happen to him. He better not get in a fight. He better come back the same way I sent him out, or I'm going to hurt all of you.
Damn, you weren't worried about a girl hitting on him, or like, you
know. No, because he knows better. He's not crazy.
Damn, you worried about it. So check this out. The butter knife slipped. He got a little cut. We at the hospital right now.
Nope, because you know what? As much of a pain in the butt as I am, I can't do me without him. That's how relationships work.
Man, you women dropping off some gems today. Hey, man, talk it.
That's the reality of it, okay. You know? And honestly, it took me time to realize that, I'll be honest with you. Because we get women, sometimes we get in our own way, and I can admit that sometimes in the past, you know, we get stuck with that whole society outlook of like, oh, we can do it by ourselves. We can't do it by ourselves. Unfortunately, a lot of women have been forced to be in that situation where they have to and they don't have a choice, and then it makes them bitter, and then they feel like that's just the way it is. But at the same time, when you have somebody that's a good partner, it's accepting that. And I think a lot of people in general have problems admitting that they need help or that they need somebody, because I think needing somebody is also scary.
Explain.
You know? Because when you need somebody, then now you're vulnerable. You're vulnerable to getting hurt, to missing them. You know, a lot of people don't really understand that, I think, until you have kids. Because when we're younger, think about how much stuff we did, and I'm saying we as in you and I, when we were going through a really heavy party phase, and like the last thought on your mind is, how could this go wrong?
I was a church boy.
But now, that's always my constant fear, is constantly worrying about, okay, well, I don't want this to happen or that to happen because I have kids to come home to. I have to worry about my other half. He has to worry about me. He has to worry about the kids. Like, one thing that goes wrong for one of us affects our entire family.
Easier to walk away when you're by yourself. You got nothing to lose.
Yes, because you're not worrying about anybody else but yourself. Unfortunately, you know, when you're single and no kids, you tend to be selfish. That's just the reality of it.
What do you mean? I'm not selfish.
Oh, wow. I'm all, Chris.
Wow. Okay, let me ask you this real quick. What do you think one of his gripes are with you? And your job. Yeah.
I would say nowadays it's that I have to leave at night because, like, at night is usually the time we spend most time together, like watching TV and cuddling, and we talk about the day. And then, like, 4 nights out of the week, we don't do that.
Damn, I didn't think about that.
Yeah. I have a question. When you guys, let's say you were at your craziest parts of your schedule, like your nights and mornings didn't match up. Let's say one of you were sleep deprived or whatever. Did you ever bring it home and take it out? Or if not, what did you do to combat that?
I don't think I was necessarily sleep deprived. Okay, so even like the latest would be when I had 2 jobs. And so the one was from like 6 to, I think it was like 6 to 3 or something. Or I would start at like 9 to 5 type of situation. And then I would have to come home and I'd have 2 hours before I'd have to be at my other shift. So I'd come home, sleep, get ready, and then peace out again. I don't really think I was sleep deprived. It was more because I got used to the schedule. I think once you, as bad as that is, you get used to your schedule, even if you're not really sleeping. It obviously catches up with you in other ways. But I think what I would freak out, or my issue is I had lack of patience. That's kind of how it manifested for me. So I'd come home where I have kids, so I expect somewhat of a little bit of a disaster every once in a while, and I just wasn't having it. And he would be home, so I would be like, you need to keep all of this organized when I'm not here because I don't have time to do it, and it's not fair that I have to do it when I'm not working because I'm tired. I want to rest on those days. And he understood, and I think it really hit him when he really had to start being here by himself with our girls, because it was just like, oh my God, there's so much work. And I'm like, yes, that's what I've been trying to explain to you.
I don't know how you do this.
Right, basically. But
does every man really say that? Probably. I don't know how you do it.
No, it's just because it's different. You guys are different than we as moms. We hover as it is, and we look at every little thing, detailed, things like that, where, you know, you guys babysit and it's like, oh, the kid's still alive. They're in the room somewhere. Like, you're not paying attention to, are you coloring on the wall? Like, did you put your toys back where you found them? Like, all those things. And I honestly enjoy keeping my house organized as much as possible because I like my number one, like, perfect day is if a day off or even a day I go in late where my house is organized, the kids come home, they have their routine now, they get an hour break when they get home, they do their chores, and then they have free time to do whatever they want.
Hey, I noticed that. I noticed that. Sorry to cut you off. I was over there on my birthday, and you went, you were tattooing me, and you went to go pick up, the little one, and she came in the room with the ice cream. It was like, I get an hour of free time. I was like, the fuck? You do? Yes, I do. And I'm like, first of all, calm down. And I'm going to ask your mother. And you looked at me like, yeah, they get an hour before that. I'm like, what?
Yeah,
My
because
mom
I remember
never gave
being
me
at
that.
school. I know, but I remember being exhausted too at school, and then having to come home and it's like not getting a mental break and just jumping into doing homework. That's like me going to work, and then of course I get my lunch and breaks and stuff, but then coming straight home and cleaning, and cleaning and jumping into the things I need to do here. Like, sometimes I just need a break. And for kids, honestly, I feel like school is too long as it is already. I really do.
Too long. Every time I see these kids got a day off, they hour early, minimum day. I'm like, bro, hey, you supposed to be at school. Yeah, like a furlough. What is that?
Well, and the other thing is too is my kids work really hard. Like, they're A, B students, so I try to balance that out.
My parents said, "What's a B?"
Yeah.
Oh yeah, no. But my whole thing, what I was saying is, I personally have gone to a point in my life where I like coming home, that my kids know their schedule, cleaning, and I actually enjoy having things just completely taken care of and having dinner, cooking, or done, and then all we have to do when he gets home is relax. Like, that's a perfect day. Like, I don't want to have to stress about going anywhere, running any errands, doing anything.
All right, I guess. I guess. All right, let me ask you this. What is one thing your husband does love about your job?
The income.
Being away from you. I mean, the income. Oh,
He gets nights free. No, I'm just kidding. I'm kidding.
He gets nights free. My bad.
You're a dick.
Hey, I'm not mad at that. Hey, I feel like that takes off so much stress of the relationship.
Income? Oh, it does. Money is one of the number one things people argue about. Even if you're not arguing particularly about money, it's the stress that it causes that you end up arguing about.
Bruh, like seriously, like we were I feel like finances is like number 2 on the leading causes of breakups and divorce is finances.
Well, it's supposed to be like sex and
no, sex was number 4. Sex was number 4.
Really?
Finances was number 2.
What was number 1? Kids, in-laws?
No.
I agree with all those.
Oh boy.
Put that down, Coy. No, cheating. You want to know what the last one was? Like the bare bottom. And mind you, we did this. I looked on 2 different polls from 2 different lists of 2 different kind of like journals. Abuse.
And that's last.
Yeah.
Like physical
Top 10.
or
Both physical and mental abuse were last.
Shouldn't that be 1?
On a top 10? You would think.
I mean, I guess, but then it's also comes down to that thing where like how many people are really reporting it though too. You know what I mean? Like a lot of people deal with issues that they don't really report.
That's I didn't. Yeah. I mean, you know what? I'm not even gonna lie to you. I do agree with what he loves about you. You know, the money, because with money comes solutions and convenience and all those other things.
Sorry, you broke up that last thing.
Oh, I said it comes convenience, it comes solutions, it comes, there's more time, money.
Well,
money
yeah,
gives you time.
I mean, exactly. That's what I'm saying. Like this money itself, it's either solving things or it's causing issues. Not the actual. I mean, like, great. I'd be happy to have like a shit ton of money, but at the same time, I don't want to have to work like 80 hours a week to have money either. That just sounds terrible.
So you want
like, what's
balance.
the point of making money if you can't do anything to spend it? What the hell?
I agree with you. I
have a question. If you didn't have to work nights and money was still altogether the same, would you do that? So you guys can spend every single night together, or do you need your kind of?
No, I wouldn't work.
You wouldn't work. I got you.
Not at my night job. I would just do my side thing.
Okay.
Just because that's, to me, I feel like if it's going to just be extra money, then it's going to be extra money.
Gotcha.
Yeah. And I hear that you're getting in your car, so have a good day at work or night. And is it night, day?
It's night.
Hey, man, my times is backwards, forwards. So, I'm gonna get you on the podcast again this week, but live. Tell your other that I hit him today and it's his fault, so he's on strike 1.
Oh, Chris said he hit you today and you didn't answer, so you're on strike 1. My phone was dead. His phone was dead. He said
do you accept that excuse? Do you accept that excuse?
He said you are on 3. So.
How? I hit him. I hit him first. Hey, is that are you allowing that excuse? Jessica?
Oh, no, he always answers the phone when I call him.
Oh, well.
He says 1% charge for that one. You got it.
What he said?
He said, I know better.
I didn't hear that. He said his phone was dead anyway. He said, and if you called, my phone dead too. That's what I heard.
He wasn't worried about it. He was home with me.
Wow. All right. I got him. Tell him I got him. All right. I'll hit you up later.
All right.
Bye.
Good night.
Bye. Bye, Coy.
Man, I mean, think about it. Money, that's all. He's not right. They argue about some things, but I mean, it kept house.
Peaches.
Nah, it's never supposed to be. And even she said she had to learn.
Someone hold it down at home, someone hold it down at work, vice versa.
And
both participate. Good team.
Yeah, damn it. I'm pretty sure though she controls the finances. Do you think women control finances in most relationships? in married households? I want to say married households.
Off the top of my head?
Yeah, into the mic. Go ahead.
Off the top of my head, I would say most. Yeah. But, I don't know.
Damn, what'd you say? 80%? 99%?
That's a lot.
You think so? I'm going to have to pull this tomorrow.
Yeah, you got to pull it.
Yeah.
But
damn, that would be a good
real
question.
question is, when you FaceTime somebody and the battery is out, does it ring or not? Because that's another one. No Wi-Fi. I can't pick up right now. I don't have limited data. My phone's dead.
Gosh. Man, Coy, well, as again, I appreciate you, my guy. Shoot, man, until Thursday, man.
Yep.
All right, man. 30 minutes for Thursday, man. Hey, man, have a good night. All right, bro.